welcome to our tour of the Kittiwake. We joined DiveTech. It's a great company. They're all pink, DiveTech, and they are on the west end of the Grand Cayman. That's our dive master for DiveTech, and she's just wonderful. And you can see, look at her size relative to the back of the boat. It's amazing. This is just a big ship, right? And you can see the words Kittiwake go out there. This is our second time diving the boat. We had such a great time the first time. We called up DiveTech and said, hey, can we do this again? What made it so special was how friendly it is for divers. As you go in here, here's my daughter. She's all excited to be there the second time too, and she's taking pictures. This time I got the Akaso, the Chinese version of the GoPro. And judge for yourself, what do you think? And you can see, I turned off the volume for a second here. If we go down up the port side of the boat, and we can look at, you can see the growth of what there is and what there isn't. But you can also see there's not a lot of life down here. There's some, but really not a ton of life down here. It is really quite the structure from a ship. It's really intact. It's a beautiful wreck. It's definitely made for divers, you know. There's a lot of plaques on the boat from Dan. Oh, look at that. Some divers popping out of holes. There's a lot of people on this wreck, so as you're diving, you go inside, you see a lot of kind of divers everywhere. Now we're going towards the bow, and so you don't actually anchor on top of the wreck. You anchor in the forward bow area or the stern area. You got to swim like 50 or 60 yards to the wreck. It's not so bad. It's just different, right? Because some of the wrecks in the Florida Keys, you actually go front, middle, rear. Here, you actually go a little bit off, like 50, 60 yards, and then you actually penetrate the wreck. Like I said, this is a marvelous wreck. Now look at the sides of the hole that we're about to enter. This is where we're going to penetrate the wreck. And now the penetration, we're going to fall into that hole, and then we're going to follow a maze. And you'll see in a second, I'm going to be using a red light. So you drop down, and this is like probably the tightest spot on the wreck. We drop down through this entry point, and you can see another exit point, not a big risk, nothing big nervous about. I'm moving around a lot trying to show you some of the exit points. I knew I wanted to point those out in the video. Plus I had the video going at 4 times speed because it was a 42-minute dive and it's about 60 feet of water. So what we didn't want to do was have you go through a 40-minute YouTube and I can't even, or make a 4-part TikTok. What I figured I would do is just speed it up and then talk through what you're seeing here. And so we're just continuing in the wreck. And then look at these canisters. I don't know what those are, but I see them on all kinds of wrecks. And maybe they're gas or maybe they're ballast. I don't know, probably gas for cooking and stuff. It's funny that they just leave them there. And I always see them on wrecks. They're just sitting there. It's kind of ominous looking, right? As you go through it. Now, there's some other divers. I turn around where you can see the other divers. And look how dark it is. If you go onto this wreck, definitely bring lights. So the first time we had some lights. This time we brought the big lights. And we brought all 4 lights coming in. We had lights on the camera. And we made sure that we were well lit because it was very dark in there. If you have lights and you're on the wreck and you have big exits, it's actually not so nerve-wracking. It's okay. It can be a rather fun dive. Look at how cool it is. But like I said, you get to Matrix. You got to go up and down, and the boat's sitting on the side. So if it was straight up and down, it'd be okay because you would have a reference point. And we're all used to walking down halls when things are straight up and down. But here, it's on its side, so we're kind of swimming what feels like sideways. So it's kind of odd, and you can see how the boat's diagonal, but I'm actually swimming straight, but it's kind of twisted. And the second time I did the dive, it felt much better than the first time. The first time I did the dive, I was kind of disoriented by the orientation of the boat being in a weird position. So that takes a little getting used to be honest. The first time, like I said, I was a little bit off balance. Now look, you gotta go down to go up. So there's pipes and you can't just go straight through. Part of that is because the boat's on the side. And B, they clear the boat in certain ways for divers to get through. And that's one of the things we have to do. So it's kind of nice. You can swim through the whole boat. We're going all the way from the bow to the stern. When we come out the stern, we're going to come up to the top and you're going to see all the fish and all the life that's on the top of the boat. Here we are. We're exiting through the back here. Port side, stern. And you can see she's going through slowly, mainly because the boat's on a weird angle. And then as we come out, she'll turn. And then what I'll do is I'll come out and then we'll go up to the top and we'll see the fishes. And look at all the lights. Now, on the top of the frame, the superstructure, tons of light. It's a great dive.